Nice that you are watching Taylor Swift Cultural Impact again. Don't forget to subscribe. Swift has ventured into diverse genres and undertaken artistic reinventions throughout her career. Pitchfork opined in 2021 that Swift changed the music landscape forever with a singularly perceptive catalogue that accommodates musical and cultural shifts. Harbron stated Swift's genre-spanning career encouraged her peers to experiment with diverse sounds. The BBC and Time designated Swift a music chameleon. Swift stated that she knew she had to keep innovating to stay ahead of record labels working to replace her. Swift's fourth album, Red, 2012, intensified the critical debate over her genre categorization, as she was a country artist at that time, but Red contained heavy pop, electronic and rock elements. Swift said that she opts to let others label genres. Critics felt that Red signified Swift's inevitable transition to mainstream pop. Randall Roberts of Los Angeles Times claimed that Red is perfectly rendered American popular music, irrespective of whether it is a pop or country record. The New York Times' John Caramanica dubbed Swift a pop star in a country context. According to Harbron, Red proved the industry that avant-garde is not the only experimental approach in music, and that Swift opened a door for every other musician, in 2012, to coalesce multiple genres into an album. Post-1989, Swift released her 2020 albums Folklore and Evermore, which were described as a mix of indie folk, chamber pop, and alternative rock styles. They expanded the perception of Swift's discography, with many critics describing her catalog as a musically heterogeneous collection of songs, having demonstrated an emo appeal. Swift's songs are often covered by pop-punk and metalcore acts. American singer-songwriter Noah Kahan said that Folklore and Evermore helped reignite popular interest in folk music. And Billboard credited Swift with the power to pull any sound she wants into mainstream orbit. Swift is Google's most searched songwriter of all time. She has keenly presented herself as a writer from the beginning stage of career, steeped in Music Row's values of craftsmanship and storytelling, as per Rosen. Her lyrics are known for their passion and intense emotions. According to Zoya Raza Sheikh of The Independent, Swift is able to balance universal themes with hyper-specificity, possessing an uncanny talent for reflecting the world's emotional angst through her own lens. Brian Hyatt of Rolling Stone opined that Swift is the reason why some pop stars write their own material. In being personal and vulnerable in her lyrics, music journalist Nick Catucci felt Swift helped make space for other singers like Ariana Grande, Halsey, and Billie Eilish to do the same. Professor Hannah Wing of Wichita State University attributed Swift's popularity to the intimacy in her music, cultivating a feeling of closeness. According to Raza Sheikh, Fearless and Speak Now, 2010, depicted Swift's adolescent innocence that resonated with a large audience, followed by her matured records Red and 1989, which exhibited her confidence in defining her narrative. Becoming unafraid of upsetting the status quo and critics, she explored the role of the villain in her sixth studio album, Reputation, 2017. It was not until Folklore and Evermore some critics considered Swift's artistic credibility. Commentators regarded both Folklore and Evermore as poetic reinventions, contextualizing them as lockdown projects or archetypal quarantine albums. Uproxx noted that Folklore changed the tone of music in 2020. Critic Tom Hull wrote that Swift caught the spirit of the times with Folklore. The rock critic Robert Christgau remarked that Swift's consistent artistic outputs made her an enduring songwriter, labeling himself a longtime admirer of Swift. Swift's songs have reportedly helped non-native speakers, especially fans beyond the Anglosphere, learn the English language. British scholar Jonathan Bate dubbed Swift a real poet, with a literary sensibility, evoking the likes of Emily Dickinson and Charlotte Brontë that was rare in pop music. Stephanie Burt, an English professor at Harvard University, described Swift's songwriting skills as rare, at both the macro level of songwriting, presenting a story or an idea, as well as the micro level of fitting together vowels and consonants. According to the University of Nottingham literature professor Matthew Green, Swift has developed a rich literary tradition in her songs. According to Scarlett Keyes, songwriting professor at Berklee College of Music, Swift mixes poetry with a very colloquial, current language, and frequently uses poetic devices but also knows to be practical, such as in Mean, 2011, or Shake It Off, 2014. Similarly, Sam Corbin of the New York Times described Swift as a linguistic maverick, writing lyrics that toggle between mixed metaphor and catchy confessional. American record producer Ryan Tedder described Swift as the most talented top-liner I've ever been in a room with, and praised her ability to write lyrics and melody in a more adept, focused, efficient manner. The term Swiftian has been used in music journalism to describe works similar to or derivative of Swift. Swift has gained a reputation as a perennial chart topper, as per Time. Her discography has achieved huge commercial success across all formats and sectors. Rosen felt it was historically unprecedented, disproving the presumed notions of music's commercial success in the 21st century. In the late 2010s, publications considered her million-selling albums a peculiarity in the streaming-dominated industry, as the end of the album era was marked by decline in album sales. Apart from publications like the Financial Times, musicologists such as Mary Fogarty, Gina Arnold and Paul Thaberge have dubbed Swift's commercial success an anomaly. On Swift's success enduring into the 2020s, The Atlantic opined that her reign defies the convention that the prime of an artist's commercial success lasts for few years only, whereas Rolling Stone considers her a genre on her own, forming a major portion of total music consumption figures in 2024. Joe Coscarelli of the New York Times attributed Swift's long-lasting success to a mix of prolific artistic output and relentless business savvy, plus cultural dominance as a celebrity. Dorian Lynskey of The Guardian and Nora Princiotti of The Ringer declared Swift is unrivaled in terms of commercial success, a highly successful artist on multiple Billboard charts. Swift has been credited with pushing the boundaries of commercial success. She ranks 8th on Greatest of All Time Artists, a Billboard list ranking music acts based on chart success, and was named the most successful artist of the 21st century, surpassing the Beatles to set a new record. She is the longest reigning act of the Billboard Artist 100, the soloist with the most cumulative weeks atop the Billboard 200, the woman with the most Billboard 200 number ones, Hot 100 entries, Hot 100 top 10 entries and weeks atop the Top Country Albums chart, and the act with the most digital songs number ones, the most number one pop airplay songs, and the longest song to top the Hot 100, All Too Well, 10-minute version. Swift is the first and only act to monopolize the Hot 100's top 10 and place as the Billboard year-end number one artist in 3 different decades, 2009, 2015, and 2023. Critics describe Swift's commercial power as unrivaled, as her success is evenly distributed across streaming, pure album sales, and track sales. She is the only act in Luminate data history to have 7 albums, or more than 2 albums. Speak Now, Red. 1989, Reputation, Midnights, 1989, Taylor's Version, and The Tortured Poets Department sell over 1 million copies in a week. To New York Magazine. Her sales figures prove she is the one bending the music industry to her will. Financial Times and ID called Swift the last pop superstar. Given her ability to generate sales figures unseen since the 1990s boy bands era, which was regarded as the commercial peak of the U.S. music business. The International Federation of the Phonographic Industry named her Global Recording Artist of the Year in 2014, 2019, 2022 and 2023 for being the most consumed artist in those years. She is the only artist to achieve this 3 and 4 times. Charlotte Cripps of The Independent said Swift led an international resurgence in country music, introducing the genre to a new UK audience. Swift also became the first country act to find chart success beyond the Anglosphere. Rosen described her as the genre's first truly global star, cultivating dedicated fandoms in foreign markets such as Ireland, Brazil, Taiwan, and China, where country music was not popular. Jakarta, Quezon City and Singapore are among her biggest cities on streaming platforms. She holds several unique all-time chart feats in Australia, Ireland and the UK in 2021. She became the first act to have 3 #1 albums on the UK Albums Chart in less than a year, besting the Beatles' 54-year-old record on Chinese music platforms. Her albums are some of the best-selling of all time and have earned her the highest income for a foreign artist. She was the world's highest-grossing female touring act of the 2010s. According to Annabelle Hurd, CEO of the Australian Recording Industry Association, Swift has completely reset the narrative for what a solo artist can accomplish. On Spotify, Swift is the most streamed artist of all time globally, the only artist to have received more than 200 and 300 million streams in one day, and the first female act to reach 100 million monthly listeners. The Tortured Poets Department is the most streamed album in a single day, with 315 million streams, and the first to collect 1 billion global streams in a week. Midnights and 1989, Taylor's Version, hold the second and third places, respectively. Variety dubbed Swift the Queen of Stream. Swift is also Apple Music's most streamed woman ever and set the platform's all-time record for most listeners for any artist in a single year. The platform's vice president, Oliver Schuster, stated, "She is a generation-defining artist and a true change agent in the music industry, and there is no doubt that her impact and influence will be felt for years to come." Swift is noted for her vast CD and vinyl sales in the 21st century, when music consumption had largely shifted to digital formats, having driven the vinyl revival. She is regarded as a champion of independent record shops. Swift has made LP variants of her albums available exclusively at small businesses, driving their sales. Due to her support of independent record shops, Record Store Day named Swift their first ever global ambassador. Evermore held the record for the biggest sales week for vinyl LPs in the US. Since Luminate Data's inauguration in 1991, although it has since been surpassed by Swift's own Red, Taylor's Version, 2021, with 112,000 vinyl LP sales, and Midnights with 575,000 LPs. The latter is the first 21st-century album to sell over 1 million LPs in the US and over 80,000 LPs in a year in the UK. 1989, Taylor's Version, sold 1.014 million copies on vinyl in the US. In 2023, becoming the first vinyl album to sell 1 million copies in a calendar year since data tracking began, and Swift accounted for 7% of vinyl sales in 2023. 1989, Taylor's version, also helped annual UK vinyl sales reach nearly 6 million copies, the highest in 33 years. For the first time since 1992, the UK Office for National Statistics designated vinyl records as one of the select goods and services in assessing the national cost of living and rate of inflation. In 2023, Swift became the first artist to concurrently occupy the top 3 positions of the IFPI Global Vinyl Album Chart with her albums. Swift has helped other artists achieve wider success. Swift's Me, 2019, Exile, 2020, Nobody, No Crime, 2020, Snow on the Beach, 2022, and Florida, 2024, marked the highest charting songs on the Hot 100 for the music acts Panic! At the Disco, Bon Iver, Haim, Lana Del Rey, and Florence and the Machine, respectively. Initially lesser-known artists have been propelled to mainstream fame after Swift invited them on her tours as opening acts, such as Ed Sheeran, Charli XCX, Shawn Mendes, Camila Cabello, and Sabrina Carpenter. Filipino-British singer Biba Doobie, an opening act on the Eras tour, stated that touring with Swift was one of her dreams growing up. American musicians Jack Antonoff and Aaron Dessner acknowledged Swift's role in expanding their careers as record producers. Antonoff stated, "Taylor's the first person who let me produce a song. Before Taylor, everyone said, 'You're not a producer.' It took Taylor Swift to say, 'I like the way this sounds.'" Antonoff worked extensively with Swift and went on to produce albums for other artists such as Lord's Melodrama, 2017, St. Vincent's Masseduction, 2017, and Del Rey's Norman Fucking Rockwell, 2019, while Dessner began working with artists such as Sheeran, Maya Hawke, and Gracie Abrams at 33 years old. Pop star Taylor Swift is one of the world's most influential business leaders. She has outmaneuvered music executives vying to control her song rights, sparred with tech giants and sold record numbers of albums. She secured her fans' loyalty by speaking directly to them online. Before it was a marketing strategy, Swift established a reputation as a savvy businesswoman. Journalists often distinguish her as an unparalleled marketing genius, with high-minded business acumen, and an entrepreneurial role model. According to Steele, Swift's Winding and Winning career presents management lessons beyond the music industry. Economist Paul Krugman argued, "Being a congenital cynic, I'd like to attribute her fame to marketing hype. But the sad truth is that she's a highly talented songwriter and musician with remarkable stage presence." In 2024, Billboard placed Swift atop its annual Power 100 list of the most influential music industry executives, a recognition typically given to male record label heads. Author Melinda Newman commented, "Swift is an enduring force in the music business, committed to innovation and risks that reap remarkable rewards." For the rest of the industry, Universal Music Publishing Group CEO Jody Gerson said that Swift taught more about own power than anyone else, and praised Swift's unapologetic ambition. Various authors have compared Swift to media franchises, conglomerate companies, or a one-woman brand. Nibs and Elamin Abdelmahmoud described Swift as an omnipresent musical institution with economic, commercial, and cultural consequences. Labor economist Carolyn Sloan likened Swift to a big corporation, essentially operating in many sectors. Her brand power has been compared to that of the DC Extended Universe and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, according to internet survey company Question Pro. Swift's hypothetical Net Promoter Score would make her the fourth most admired brand in the world. CNN journalists have described the impact of her brand, Brian Mina opined. Swift didn't have to run a major company or helm a central bank to wield an immense economic power. And she has achieved remarkable feats that would be impressive for any typical business leader running a Fortune 500 company. Whereas Scotty Andrew remarked that news outlets and companies often use her name in headlines, interviews, branded content and products to capitalize off of her fame, per Professor R. Polk Wagner at the University of Pennsylvania Law School. Swift associating her lyrics with a range of goods and services through trademark applications represents her understanding that she is bigger than the music. He added, "It's more of a branding right, thinking of Taylor Swift as a conglomerate." The Lewis Silkin LLP attorney Cliff Flute opined that while business-minded artists like Mick Jagger or Metallica's Lars Ulrich have been criticized for it in the past, Swift removed the ickiness from commerce and allowed new artists aware of the business. Now it's like, I'm an industry, a conglomerate. I'm Taylor Swift Inc. Additionally, in a practice called domain squatting, Swift bought the pornographic website domain names Taylor Swift Porn and Taylor Swift Adult to prevent them from being misused. This was the video. Next time we will continue about the cultural impact of Taylor Swift. Don't forget to subscribe. Until next time. Bye.